Interaction. It's one of the things that make humans unique. Humans communicate to each other and collaborate, working together to create something bigger than we could ever achieve on our own. One of the most important factors of this collaboration is sharing. Not only sharing physical items, but also ideas, thoughts, and beliefs. Hearing others' input and learning what others think is fundamental in shaping our own personal ideals. It is because of this that the idea of freedom of speech exists. We are driven by the need to talk to others and share what we think without being restricted.
Do you feel like you have freedom of speech? Yes, I do feel like I have freedom of speech because, especially at my house, I think it depends on who you're brought up with, and at my house, we're kind of encouraged to say what we think about what's going on, so.
Many of you probably don't think that voicing one's ideas is an action that can have drastic consequences, but history has many famous examples. One instance is Galileo, a famous physicist whose scientific findings challenged some of the Roman Catholic Church's beliefs, that the Earth is the center of the universe. In reaction to Galileo's findings, the Church ordered Galileo to publicly renounce his findings and live the rest of his life in house arrest. However, that was not the end. Not even a century later, Sir Isaac Newton used Galileo's findings as a core part of his famous 3 laws of motion, which are fundamental to classical physics, the basis of physics. In fact, his first law of motion is a direct reference to Galileo's research on inertia. Even Newton himself had said, "If I see a little farther, it is because I have been standing on the shoulder of giants." Thus, Galileo exemplifies how voicing one's ideas has consequences for both the speaker and civilization.
However, the danger of speaking for what one believes is not ancient history. Another man that paid dearly for voicing his own opinion was Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. For example, King spent time in the Birmingham jail in 1963 because he had organized a nonviolent protest advocating against racial segregation. It was here that King wrote his famous letter from Birmingham jail. Also, King received multitudes of slander from the citizens of the United States. And what resulted from King's efforts? Plenty. Martin Luther King Jr. and his campaign inspired the United States of America to combat racial discrimination, and his legacy still lives on, inspiring more people to promote equality.
Did you think that was a thing of the past? Malala Yousafzai is a 15-year-old girl from Pakistan who courageously spoke out for the educational rights of Pakistani females after her school and many others were closed by the Radio Mullah.
तालिबान ने मेरी तालीम पर पाबंदी लगाई और कहा कि तुम लड़कियां स्कूल नहीं जाओगी.
Thus, in late 2012, she was nearly assassinated by an official from the Taliban for her protests and opinions.
The right of free speech is a human right that each person has the freedom to exercise. Freedom of speech that is both legal and psychological is necessary for this right to be utilized to its fullest extent. The answer is open expression. Open expression is needed in order for people to voice their thoughts without fear.
There are several paths available that all eventually lead to open expression. The most effective option is to encourage people to talk to each other without fear of punishment for voicing their beliefs. A realistic and accessible method of accomplishing such a task is to utilize the internet. We are blessed to live in the age of the internet, which allows people to communicate instantaneously and also anonymously to the rest of the world. What if we were to create a website, a space where people from all around the world could come together and share what they believe? This website will allow everybody to share their ideas through hosting written essays and comments along with forums dedicated to discussion. Also, there will be a special topic of the month which will facilitate more discussion. All of this input can be done anonymously. The essay section will include original essays along with a comment section below it. This format will be similar to the format most news agencies post their articles, for example, New York Times. The forum section will be further divided into categories based on places of possible application. For example, if a local problem in San Francisco, US needs solving and someone has an idea for a solution, then the person could post their idea in the local section, United States, California, San Francisco. However, some places will be age restricted because of material that may not be suited for younger audiences.
Being open and communicating is such a huge part of being human. It's the reason that our civilization has been able to advance so far, the reason we've been able to harness electricity, end slavery, travel into deep space. It's all because there were people who were not afraid to speak out and tell the world what they were thinking. And that's what the world needs more of, speakers.